Here's an interesting thought. Most bettors don't lose because they're clueless. They lose because noise messes with their decisions. Meanwhile, the sportsbooks don't flinch when a bet loses. Who does? You do, refreshing the app, replaying the miss, changing everything, and starting from ground zero all over again. Well, let me tell you something. I'm no Superman. Even with a working strategy, I still have my losing days, which at this point is all part of the game. But I know that if I let those losses get to me, I won't even get the chance to see the light at the end of the tunnel. I remember one week I lost over $2,000 in just 4 days. I lost $114, then $310, then $530, and finally $1,300 in a single day. It felt horrible. But I knew all my bets were positive EV, meaning they had a long-term edge, so I kept using OddsJam to find value bets every day. A few days later, I had one massive win, $2,400 in a single day, and that one day alone erased the entire losing streak. So, whenever you hit a roadblock, here's what I want you to do. First, understand variance. Winning and losing streaks are normal. Even pros go through them. Second, trust the math. Even if your bets are positive EV and you lose, the numbers even out over time. Third, stay consistent. Keep using tools like OddsJam to find edges every day. And fourth, don't panic. Losing streaks only hurt if you stop too early. Trust me, when you trust the process, there's not much left to overthink. Even a complete amateur could follow this. Why? Because you have OddsJam to back you up. Links in the description if you're interested, or scan the QR code here if you're on TV. But just because you have a tool doesn't mean you can just set it and forget it. Man, when I first started betting, I swore I was crushing it. Then one night I got curious and actually added it all up. Turns out I was down almost $700. And after a night of spiraling, that's when it hit me. Not every good-looking bet is actually a good bet. So if you're not tracking your numbers, you're just guessing at that point, which is honestly a gamble you don't want to take. Luckily, you don't need anything fancy. A Google Sheet works, or something like JuiceReel, Pickit, or the built-in OddsJam tracker. And here's the rule of thumb. If you're beating the closing line like 70% of the time, you're finally on the right side of the math. So now you're probably wondering, all right, but even if I manage my money right, aren't the books too sharp now to beat? Well, that's where you're wrong, because really, there are two types of sports books you need to know: soft books and sharp books. Soft books are the flashy types. DraftKings, FanDuel, BetMGM, they've got promos, boosts, same-game parlays, and ads that make betting look like Disneyland for degenerates. They offer decent odds because they want everyone to play. And early on, you can actually win here. But once you do, they'll quietly throttle your limits until you're betting lunch money. Then there are the sharp books, the market makers, places like Pinnacle or Betfair. They don't really care if you win. They want winners because winners sharpen their lines. They run on volume, take a small 1 to 2% vig, and let the market balance itself. But the trade-off, the edges are razor thin, meaning no promos and no mercy. So your strategy has to shift. Soft books are for finding edges. Sharp books are for proving you actually have one. So picture this. You're at a coffee shop with a buddy. He says, let's bet on whether the next person through that door is wearing a hat. It's basically 50-50. But here's the catch. Every time you win, he pays you $20. Every time you lose, you only owe him $10. If you're a smart person, you'd sit there all day, sipping coffee, waiting for people with hats. And that's what a positive expected value bet is. You're not predicting outcomes, you're exploiting prices. So the question isn't who's going to win tonight. It's did the sportsbook mess up the price? So yeah, let's say you find good lines. What are you supposed to do about them? Well, that's where having a community comes in handy. You get context, not just confidence. And you got it. I've got one just for you. Links below, or you can scan right here. Now, one thing I want you to remember is this. Finding good lines is only half the game, because even the sharpest edge means nothing if you don't know how to size your bets. See, most bettors guess how much to bet each time. $50 here, $100 there, and then they wonder why their results are all over the place. But there's actually a math formula that tells you exactly how much to bet to grow your bankroll faster and safer. It's called the Kelly criterion. In September, I started testing out the Kelly criterion calculator inside OddsJam. You just enter your bankroll, the odds, and how much edge, like expected value, the bet has. The calculator then tells you the perfect bet size. And this is the amount that maximizes your profit while managing risk. I went through an unlucky streak. I lost a few days in a row and thought it wasn't working. but I stuck with it. And by the end of the month, I finished up $4,410.56, all from following positive EV bets using Kelly sizing. So here's my advice. Use Kelly or flat units. Both work, but Kelly adjusts bet size based on your edge. Then, start small. I recommend using quarter Kelly. It's safer and reduces risk during losing streaks. Also, watch for weird edges, meaning if you see a bet that looks too good, like 30% plus EV, it might be a data glitch. So don't go all in. Instead, size down. And lastly, stay consistent. Keep using OddsJam to calculate your bet sizes and find positive EV bets. Once you've got your bankroll set up, there's nowhere to go but up, which means you're only going to get better from here on out. But to keep that momentum going, you need to shift your mindset. Just think about it. Say somebody walks into a casino, sits at the blackjack table and says, "Yeah, I didn't read the rules, but I'll figure it out." No one's going to blink if he walks away empty-handed. And unfortunately, that's how most people bet sports. Random picks, rent money parlays, convincing themselves that a heater is just around the corner. And then they wonder why the account balance looks like a dying phone battery. So here's what the pros do instead. They treat every bet like a trade. They're not chasing picks or placing bets blindfolded. They follow this exact strategy we just talked about. And if you want to see that in action, today's your lucky day, because I documented my entire OddsJam system, which you can watch right here.